Today with us on Viewpoints, we have Dr. Dayan Jayatilleka, the former permanent representative to the UN. Now, Dr. Jayatilleka, with your experience leading the Sri Lankan delegation to the UNHRC in 2009 and the most recent sessions, how would you compare and contrast the image of Sri Lanka in the international arena?
In 2009, we had what I call the Geneva Consensus, but now I'm going to have to call it Geneva Consensus 1, because we have a reverse consensus in 2012 and 2013. In 2009, our achievement is best measured by the fact that we were able to get 29 votes, which the United States of America, the world's sole superpower, has been unable to get in their resolutions concerning Sri Lanka over the last 2 years. They got 24 last year, 25 this year. That's not a bad achievement, but we got 29 in 2009. So the figures tell the story. We had support from all continents, the whole of the third world. Every non-aligned member of the UNHRC at the time voted with us, and we have suffered a significant shrinkage, almost a collapse of our international standing as measured by the Geneva Barometer, as I call it. In 2012 and 2013, we can see the loss of stalwart supporters of Sri Lanka, such as Brazil. Brazil supported us in 2009, voted against us in 2013. Malaysia voted for us in 2009, abstained in 2012 and 2013. Angola and Ethiopia voted with us in 2009, abstained in 2013. Uruguay, which is a progressive Latin American country, Uruguay voted with us in 2009, voted against us in 2012 and 2013. The Latin American countries which are quite independent in their foreign policy, Argentina, Uruguay, Peru, and Brazil, all voted against Sri Lanka. So now we have a serious problem, not merely with the West. I mean, that would be bad enough, but that is understandable, and it can be balanced off if you have the support of your own natural constituency. Obviously, we don't. We've lost votes among our own non-aligned third world constituents. Pivotal, of course, is the loss of India in 2012 and again in 2013. So something is really going wrong. It's quite dangerous. The international space that we enjoy is shrinking, and this is entirely due to the sins of omission and commission of the Sri Lankan regime.
Now, you mentioned the resolution that was adopted most recently on Sri Lanka at the recent sessions. Do you think that in any way this resolution was too soft?
No, I don't think so. I think that the people who moved the resolution, from looking at it from their point of view, they were very smart. They got as many votes as they could get. Obviously, they weren't as good as we were because we got more votes. So we built a broader coalition, and the resolution we moved was better crafted. But still, they did what they had to do. I don't think it was too soft. I think it was a very smart negotiating tactic. They put forward a strong resolution first, then they made it very soft, and then they ratcheted it up a little bit, and they kept their votes with them. So I don't think it was soft. I think that there's a sting in that, and that has to be read by Colombo. It's not a resolution made of candy floss. It's a serious resolution.
Now, what do you think could prevent a recurrence of conflict in Sri Lanka, given that we seem to be just trading one form of extremism for another?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. We have not successfully reconciled with the Tamil minority of the northern province. There is an institutional and political vacuum there. There's a separate kind of administration, a tighter kind of administration. I call it administrative apartheid. So we haven't had a Northern Provincial Council election. That's hanging fire. The President has promised to hold it in September, but it's not. There are other voices, very powerful official bureaucratic voices, which are opposed to the holding of that. So that's the Northern Front. That's not going well. And in the meantime, we have opened a new front. Extremist forces, religious extremist forces that I have called ethno-religious fascist forces, have picked on the Muslim community, which had always remained with the state and Certainly they didn't take the side of the separatist Tamil movement. They didn't even take the side of those who want a re-merger of the North and East. But they are being pushed to the wall by these extremist ethno-religious forces. So the crack up of Sri Lanka, you can see the spider web, the fissures are proliferating. There is no healing, there is no reunification. And I fear that this administration, which did so well in winning the war, is losing the peace. Or to put it differently, an administration which won the hot war is losing the Cold War. I really fear that if this goes on, we will be reduced to the fate of Serbia, which treated as Yugoslavia under Marshal Tito. It was a brilliant example of coexistence, but after that it sought to impose Serbian nationalism and Serbian culture on all the other minorities, to do away with the autonomy arrangements that were part of the Yugoslav constitution. The result was the unraveling of Yugoslavia. And the world said, look, I mean, if that's the way you want to go, you can have your own country, you can have Serbia, but not the rest. So if there's an attempt on the part of certain forces within the Sinhala Buddhist majority community to do other than assume its natural leadership role, because with 75% of the populace, there's a natural leadership role that would accrue to the Sinhalese. But if they try to impose rather than lead, if they try to dominate rather than persuade, then the country will be shrunk by hostile forces from the neighborhood and the world system to a Sinhala Buddhist state which occupies 2/3 of the island. And the brilliant military victory achieved by the armed forces would have been rolled back. And this is the tragedy that is staring us in the face.